our dearest little champions. We hope that you all are doing really great. So we all heard that the science paper was not really bad, it was actually good. But obviously a lot of you might be curious to know what is the answer for all the questions that are being put up. So here we are with the solution video for all the subjects, that is physics, chemistry as well as biology. So part by part, this is set paper 3, okay, set 3 solutions that we are gonna discuss right now. So we didn't get so much time to type the questions, so we put some snips. I hope you can manage it for the time being. The most important thing is the solution, and we are going to give that. And starting with chemistry, because chemistry is the one that is the first thing that comes to mind, so we will give the mic.
So students, as ma'am told, we won't be discussing the detailed answer, but we'll give you an idea like how you should be presenting the answers. Okay, so let's see the first MCQ here. So example of the thermal decomposition reaction. So you know thermal decomposition, where we have to use heat to decompose. So first one is your photolytic, so one will not be the answer. Then the third one is electrolytic, so that is also not there. So 2 and 4. So your first question answer will be option number D. Okay, so I mentioned here, answer will be option number D. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so here the answer will be option number 2 and 4. Okay, so we have that is in option number D. Okay, next moving to second MCQ. So you have to identify the pH value. So here it is potassium nitrate, right? So here we have a strong base and a strong acid, so it will be neutral 7. So A will lie in between. So we have this option where A is in between, and we have this option. Next, sodium carbonate. If you see, sodium carbonate is it will be basic, so C will be the highest one. So correct answer here will also be option number D. Okay, next question number 3, which one of the following is protected from corrosion by a layer of its own oxide? So it is aluminium oxide, option number A here. Okay, next we'll move to the color of the solution observed after 1 hour of placing the iron nails in copper sulfate solution. So when you place, we'll get FeSO4 formation, which is pale green in color. So option number B is the correct answer. Next, the hydrocarbon which does not belong to the homologous series. So if you find a general formula, it is CnH2n plus 2, right? This also follows, this also follows. But here if you see, this is CnH2n, right? So this cannot be the member of a homologous series. So option number C here. Next, the water of crystallization is present in, so we know one of them is plaster of Paris. So 2 has to be there in the option. We can eliminate this one, and apart from that, in washing soda we have 10 molecules of water of crystallization. So 2 and 3, so that is option number B here. Okay, next we will see juice of tamarind turns blue litmus red. So it is an acid, it contains acid. Which acid is present in tamarind? That is your tartaric acid. So option number D here. Okay, I think next next we have bio questions, right? So Jasmine ma'am will be taking here for bio questions.
Okay, just a second. Okay, cool. So shall we start? So over here the first question, that is from bio. Electrical impulse travels in a neuron from. So if you know the structure of neuron, my dear children, first the neurotransmitters would be sent in the synapse. Now from the synapse it will be going to the dendrites, from the dendrites to the axon, then to the nerve endings. Okay, just a second over here. Okay, a quick change. The answer will not be D, it will be B. Why? Because dendrites, then the cell body has an extension, that is axon, and after the axon you would be having the nerve endings. So this becomes your answer for question number 8. Going ahead with the next question. A tall pea plant with round seeds, that is capital T, capital T, capital R, capital R, is crossed with short pea plants with wrinkled seeds. Okay, both are recessive, here both are dominant. Now the F1 generation will be, remember when you are crossing dominant with recessive, right? Obviously in the first generation only the dominant traits would be visible. So it will be what, say, tall and round. All of them will be tall and round. So I'll say 100% tall with round seeds would be the answer, that is D option. Cool? Going ahead with the next one, the basic filtration unit of excretory system in human beings is, I don't even know why they gave this question, probably for giving you extra marks, right? So the basic filtration unit is none other than the nephron, my dear children. Okay, going ahead, that is answer A. Now, which one of the following is not an excretory product in plants? CO2 is given out by plants, so obviously it is an excretory product. What about starch? No, plant does not give off starch. Plant stores the food in the form of starch, so it is not an excretory product. So B becomes your answer. Raisins and gums is an excretory product. Dead cells, obviously they are also excretory product. Starch will be the one that is not. So B is your answer. Next question is, in human alimentary canal, the digestive juice secreted by gastric glands are, that means the glands which is there in your stomach. So, you have hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, my dear children. Apart from that, you have pepsin, which is an enzyme that breaks down proteins. And apart from that, you have mucus. So, all the secretions are done by the stomach, gastric glands which are there in the stomach. Bile is being produced by liver. Trypsin is being produced by pancreas. So, this cannot be an option. Over here, lipase is produced by pancreas. Bile again is produced by liver. So, not an option. Salivary amylase is produced by our mouth, right? Okay, so obviously not that an option, and bile, as I said, is produced by the liver. So your answer is B. Going ahead with the next question, I think now it's time for physics. So let's see the physics answers. And here we have Swami sir for that.
Thank you, Jasmine ma'am. So let's see the physics answers for the questions. So there are very few physics MCQs in today's paper. So first question is very easy. The curvature of eye lens of human eye, it is changed based on where we are looking. If we are looking at distant objects or closer object, based on that the curvature of the eye lens changes. So option D is the correct answer for this. And then this is a very easy question. So if you have followed any of the lectures where I have discussed about ray diagram, so this is the principal ray. So here obviously option C is the correct answer, that because after passing through the once the parallel ray falls on the mirror, after passing through the mirror, it passes through the focus, right? The next question is from biology, ma'am will answer, but before that there are some confusion about the paper. This is set 3 from Bangalore question paper. So if you have attempted the question set 3, then definitely you should watch this video. Okay, if you are from Delhi or any other places having different set, then this is not for you. This is for set 3. Jasmine ma'am, this is your question.
No, I think, okay, I didn't attempt that. Okay, so in the following groups of waste, which group contains only non-biodegradable waste? So leather footwear, plastic plate and polythene bag, empty medicine bottle, milk packet and aluminium can, and what do you have? Used tea leaves, cardboard box and iron, and plastic syringes, newspaper and ball. So over here you have newspaper, that is obviously biodegradable, and over here you have cardboard, and also used tea leaves, both biodegradable. So you have to look for the one that has non-biodegradable stuffs only together, right? So this is the one, this is the one where empty medicine bottle is there, milk packet is there and aluminium can is there. Okay, so B becomes the answer, but still I will be checking, but B is the answer for this particular question. Going ahead with the next, I hope, yeah, this is also mine. So consider the following food chain, that is grass being eaten up by grasshopper, grasshopper eaten by frog, and frog by snake, snake by eagle. If the amount of energy available at the third trophic level is 50 kg, my dear children, the available energy at the producer level would be what? So over here it is 50, and do you know, whenever energy is passed, only 10% of the energy is passed. So suppose, so here if it is 50, then here probably it would have been 500, because when we do this calculation, what is 10% of 500? It is basically 50. Oh, did I cut? I cut all the zeros. Just a second, okay. I'm so sorry. So 500's 10% would be what? 0, 0, 0. You are left with 50, okay, which is why frog will be having 50. So similarly, if you go back, not 50%, basically 50 kilojoules. So if you have to go back, what do? You just multiply it with 10. So over here it will be 5,000 kilojoules. So all of them, when they pass through, they're just going to give 10% of the energy. So your answer becomes D, that is 5,000 kilojoules. Works? So D is the answer for this particular question. Now going ahead, there are certain assertion and reason question. You know the options, right? So we would go ahead with the first one. So assertion says xylem tissues move water and minerals obtained from the soil by the roots. Do they move like that? Yes, obviously. Xylem tissues are going to take in water and minerals which are there in the soil with the help of roots. So assertion is totally correct. Now it is said that xylem tissue is found only in the roots of the plant. Then what about the rest of the plant? How do they get water and minerals? Obviously you need xylem tissue, right? So this becomes a wrong statement. So I'll say assertion is true and the reason is false. Okay. Now I think there's a chemistry question up here. Yes.
Okay, so the next assertion reason question is from the carbon and its compounds chapter. Okay, so the first statement here, the assertion given is carbon and its compounds are major source of fuels, right? So we know that why, so this is the statement given. Now reason explanation that is given for this is most of the carbon compounds on burning release a large amount of heat and light, right? So yes, because it produces a large amount of heat and light, it can be used as combustible material. So that is why, or it can be used as a fuel. So assertion and reason both are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Okay, so answer is option number A here. Now moving to next question, we have Jasmine ma'am's question here.
Okay, biology question, that is assertion says food web is a network of several food chains operating in an ecosystem. Is it true? Yes, obviously food web is nothing but so many food chains coming together. Now reason is food web decreases the stability of ecosystem. Obviously not. Suppose I am a lion, if I have a rabbit over there to eat, okay, so that's fine, but also if I have another option that would be more making me more stable, I have two choices now. So obviously food web would be increasing the stability, not decreasing the stability. So this becomes a wrong statement here. Assertion is true and the reason is false. C option. Now next question, I think again it is, okay, it's physics. So I'll call physics sir, Samik sir.
Another easy question again. In common domestic circuits, the earth wire connected to a metallic plate buried deep inside the earth. Obviously that is how the earthing is done. So you have to bury a wire deep inside the underground. That is called earthing wire, and earthing wire basically prohibits any leakage of current that is happening, and you may get shocked from that. So it passes that extra current, leakaged current, towards the ground. So earth wire ensures that any leakage of current to the metallic body of the appliance keeps the potential to that of the earth, so that the user may not get a severe electric shock. Yes, this is also correct, and this is the correct reason behind assertion, right? So that the potential of the earth remains with the appliance, right? So both assertion and reason are correct, and correct answer is option A. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, section B, 2 marker question. So yes, ma'am's question.
Okay, so this question is from your chemistry metals and non-metals chapter. Okay, so you have to find a metal which is found in the earth's crust in free state and in the form of its compound. So free state will be those metals which are very less reactive, like you can give the example of gold, silver, platinum, and they are found, you have to also write state where each of these metals are placed in the reactivity series of the metals. So because they are least reactive, they will be placed at the bottom of the reactivity series. Okay, and you have to tell one element or one metal which is found in its compound form. So that can be like any sodium, magnesium, potassium, anything highly reactive metals you can choose, and where they are placed in the top of the reactivity series. Okay, this was very easy question, all of you should be able to answer. Next we have physics question here.
Abhinav Mishra, we are not ignoring you. We saw your message. We will reply. Just wait for a second. Now, I was also having the same doubt that you had, that whether leather boots are biodegradable or not. But in the second option that we have seen, that aluminium can is definitely not biodegradable. Plastic and medicinal packets are also not biodegradable. So I think 15B could have been the correct answer that ma'am said. So that was my opinion. I was also in a little bit doubt. Obviously I studied long back the environmental sciences, but if you have any other questions, please ask. We will definitely try to answer. Now let's look into this question. So out of these two medium, medium 1 and medium 2, in which is the speed of light is more? So as you can see that light ray is bending away from the normal. So bending away from the normal means speed of light is more in medium number 1. So it will be medium number 1, not medium 2. It will be medium number 1 is the answer. So speed of light is more here and speed of light is less here. Okay, because light ray is bending away from the normal. Away from the normal only happens when the light, the medium is rarer. So rarer means speed of light is speed of light is more. Yes, correct. So this is basically correct answer. So speed of light is more in the medium 2 because it is a rarer medium. So in rarer medium, speed of light is more. This is a denser medium. So in denser medium, speed of light is less, right? That is a thing that we know. Now let's see the second question. State the reason behind of bending of the refracted ray away from the normal. So medium 1 being denser, compared to medium 2, when light ray travels from denser to rarer medium, the ray bends away from the normal. So this is the reason behind that. And express the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 in terms of speed. So refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is speed of light in the first medium divided by speed of light in the second medium. So this is the basically thing. You can mention the speed of light in medium 1. In medium 1, obviously we have we didn't get too much time to prepare, so we just wrote the answer as quickly as possible. So the answer, you have to write it in a little bit longer, right? So this is the easy question. Next question is again from physics. The sky appears dark to the passengers flying at a very high altitude. Why? Because at very high altitude, no atmosphere to scatter light. We see the color of the sky because light ray scatters, and blue light scatters the most, reaching our eyes. That's why we see blue color of the sky. But in the high altitude there is no atmosphere to scatter light, so we do not see any color of the sky. Danger signal lights are used in red color because red lights scatter least and they can travel a long distance without scattering. So that is why they are used in the danger signal. Now there is a OR question, whole question as a OR question. What is a rainbow? Why we see a rainbow at the sky only after the rainfall? Why? So first of all, rainbow is small answer is natural dispersion of sunlight. Water vapors acts like tiny prism to break the sunlight into its constituent particles, constituent colors. So water vapor is necessary to observe rainbow. That is why after rainfall there are a lot of water vapor present in the air. That is why we see rainbow only after rainfall, and especially just before sunset. Okay, it's around evening time. Okay, because there is an angle issue also. I explained it. Now next question, proteins. I think ma'am, is your question.
Yeah, okay. So we'll slow down a bit. I think it's going really fast and we are messing around, but yeah. Can I give? Thanks. Okay. So proteins control the expression of various characters. Explain the statement by taking an example of tallness as a character in plants. So what do you mean by this question? You have to tell that protein somehow is going to help in controlling a character. So how do you frame it? Basically you say that we have DNA. The DNA would be having genes. The genes are going to code for proteins. Now these proteins can be anything. Here it is said that this protein is managing a character, and they have also mentioned the character that is tallness in the case of plants. So how can protein manage tallness, my dear children? Proteins can be in the form of enzymes, and you know these enzymes can be used up in the formation of growth hormones, and these growth hormones, my dear children, are responsible for this character that is tallness. So how do we explain this answer? If you do not know how to frame it, here is the answer. So genes give instruction to make special proteins called enzymes, which help control traits like tallness in plants. In tall plants, an enzyme helps produce a growth hormone that makes the plant grow taller. If the enzyme does not work properly, the plant would stay what? Short. In that way, the proteins are going to decide each character in the plant's body or any organism's body. I hope that is sorted. So you have to write those 2 points, you get 2 marks. Now, this question, you know what, we solved it in sample papers. So this is very much important. Now still you have your math exam left. Go watch the sample paper videos. Now explain the mechanism of inheritance used by sexually reproducing organisms to ensure the stability of DNA of the species. So what is that mechanism? In which way they assure that the DNA is, everything is stable? Basically, whenever gamete formation happens in sexually reproducing organisms, they do by the help of meiosis. What happens with the help of meiosis? The number of chromosomes will become half in each of the gametes. Now half chromosomes are there in each of the gametes. Now when fertilization happens, both the gametes come together, and now again this half chromosome would make a diploid zygote. So the number of chromosomes would be stable. Now you get it? Just like the parents, the child will also have the same number of chromosomes. So you have to write these 2 points. If you have written these 2 points, you get 2 marks. So this is an OR question. You can attempt both of this question as in either one of them and get 2 marks. I hope that is sorted. Going ahead with the next question. How is brain protected in our body? What do we have? We have cranium, or basically what do you call it as? Skull. Apart from skull, basically our brain and the skull, in between that we have cerebrospinal fluid as well to protect it from friction and things like that. And apart from that, if you are asked, the brain is covered by something that is known as meninges. There are 3 layers that is known as meninges. So you have 3 things: cranium, cerebrospinal fluid, and also meninges that you have to write. Now a doctor finds in one of his patients that he is not maintaining a proper posture and balance of his body. He is not able to move around. So state the region of the brain and also the part of the brain which is responsible for this. So the region of the brain is forebrain, my dear children. Okay, what do we have? We have forebrain. That is the second largest part of the brain, my dear children. And in forebrain, you have something that is known as cerebellum, which is responsible for the posture as well as balance. Always remember LL for posture. Okay, that is why you stand straight and things like that. If you have written this, you have got the marks. That is 2 marks. This and this. Got it? So 2 plus 2, 4 marks pakka in biology. Now going ahead. Okay, there's one more question now. Okay. Write the percentage of the energy of sunlight captured by green plants to convert it into food energy. So the amount of sunlight that is captured by the plants is 1 to 2% of photosynthetically active radiation. After they capture it, suppose I am a plant, I captured it. Now a herbivore will come and eat me. I am not going to give all of my energy. Only 10% of this energy would be transferred to them. Rest of it will be lost. I would also be using it for myself, right? So that is the thing. So when herbivores eat plants, only 10% of the stored energy is transferred to them. The rest is lost as heat used for life processes, that is metabolism, movement, digestion, whatever is there. So if you write these points, you get 2 more marks, that is 6 marks now. Cool. And with that, we complete section B also, that is 2 marker question. Now we are heading up to section C, 3 marker. Let's see whose first question is. Again, chemistry. I thought it's mine.
Okay, so this is very easy question from the first chapter, that is your chemical reactions and equations. So let me take the pen. Okay,
Just a second.
okay,
Yeah. Okay. Over here, yes, a small correction. Thank you, Abhinav. I was going so fast. Yeah. This is not forebrain. This is hindbrain, okay? That is the second largest part of the brain. Hindbrain, forebrain is the first largest part. Now you can go ahead.
Okay, so now we'll go to the first 3 marker question. Okay, just a minute, let's go to that question. Yes, explain why respiration is considered as an exothermic reaction. So we know exothermic reaction, heat is released. During respiration, energy is released, so that is why it is an exothermic reaction. So you can simply write down energy is released during the process of respiration, therefore it is exothermic. That gives you 1 mark. Next, give the chemical equation for this reaction. If you write the balanced chemical equation, then only you will get the full marks. So what happens here? Glucose reacts with oxygen to give you carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Okay, so you have to write the reaction as well as balance it. So this carries 1 mark, this carries 2 marks, balanced equation, and that will give you total 3 marks. Okay, very easy and simple question. Next, we move to the question, state the chemical properties in each case on which the following uses of baking soda are based on. Okay, the first is given, it is used as an antacids. Now why baking soda can be used in antacids? It is because they have mild basic nature. Okay, due to the mild basic nature, they can neutralize the acids. So that is why they are used as antacids. Next, as a constituent in making baking powder. So baking powder has baking soda and carbon dioxide, right? Sorry, baking soda and tartaric acid. So baking soda and tartaric acid can react together to give you carbon dioxide, which will help in the fluffiness of the bakery products. So it is a mixture of tartaric acid and baking soda will release the carbon dioxide when it reacts to an acid. Okay, so we have this baking soda here, which reacts with this tartaric acid to give you carbon dioxide. Okay. Next, it is used as a soda acid fire extinguisher. The same reason here. So it can produce carbon dioxide when it is heated. So this carbon dioxide can help in the extinguish of fire. Okay. So these are the three reasons why we can use. Now here we have an OR question as well, that is regarding you have to write a chemical reaction to show what happens when an acid reacts with a metal. So if an acid reacts with metal, you will get salt plus H2. Okay, acid plus metal, salt plus H2. Example, zinc plus HCl. You can write ZnCl2 plus H2. You have to write a chemical equation, so you can take any chemical reaction. Next, when acid reacts with base, you will get salt and water neutralization reaction. So you can take NaOH plus HCl gives NaCl plus water. You can write any other reaction also. Next, we have carbonate. So acid reacts with carbonate to give you salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. So you can see here HCl is an acid. I have taken sodium carbonate. If you react both of them, you will get NaCl plus CO2 plus H2O. Okay. So you can write any other reactions also. But yes, these are the products name you have to mention. Write the name of the main product. So here salt and hydrogen, salt and water, salt and carbon dioxide and water. Okay, let's see the next question. Okay, next question is from physics. So Somik sir will be discussing.
Please give me this. So this is an easy question. We have solved a similar question from one of our sample paper, if you have seen that. So a student placed a candle flame at different distance from a convex lens and focused this image on a screen. He recorded his observation in a tabular form in the given below. So now if you see that all the observations, we have to start with the observation where object distance and image distance are same, right? So if you see that at this point, that is minus 30, you will see that the, just a second. So if you see here, we have minus 30 here, and this is also plus 30. So the magnitude of the image distance and object distance are same. So image distance and object distance are same means when does this happen? This happens only when it is kept at a distance 2f. This is a particular, very particular distance where object distance and image distance are same. So from this we can say that the focal length must be equals to 15 centimeter, right? So let's see the next questions in this part. So what is the focal length of the convex lens used? Give reason for justify your answer. So 15 centimeter. Why 15 centimeter? Because from the observation table we see that at 30 centimeter image distance is also 30 centimeter. That means image and object distance are same, only possible at 2f. That means f is 15 centimeter. Okay. Now which of these sets of observation is not correct and why? So let's go back. So if you see that this distance to minus 12 is basically less than the focal length. What was the focal length? Focal length was 15 centimeter, and this is minus 12, which is less than focal length. So what happens when the object is kept as less than focal length? Then we observe a virtual image. So in case of virtual image, what is the sign of the distance? Sign of the distance should be negative as well, right? So in case of virtual image, object distance and image distance both should be negative because both are on the same side, but that is not happening. That means this is a wrong observation. Okay. Now what next? Observation on 8 is incorrect as the distance is less than the focal length. Thus image must be virtual. V should be negative. Draw the ray diagram to show the image formation of any correct case set. So you can draw any ray diagram for convex lens as long as you are drawing the diagram which is more than the focal length. Okay, any image is fine because they are starting more than 2f and f. Any distance, any object distance when the object is kept more than focal length, any of the cases, any of the 2 cases that you know, 3 cases also, you can draw 2f also if you want. So any of these cases will be accepted for your answer. Okay, there are 3 possible cases. I cannot draw any of the, all 3, right? Let's move on to the next question. I think this is a bio question.
Okay, so we are here. So in human beings, the genes inherited from parents decide whether the newborn individual is a male or a female. Can I get the pen? Okay. So explain the statement with the help of a flow diagram. So basically you have to create the chart over here which looks like this. So my dear children, male will be XX, female will be XY. So please write parents over here. And this is what? This is female. If I said something else, please don't mind. This is female and this is male. And over here, the gametes which are there would be X, and here it could be X and Y. Cool? Now, the first generation, or basically the progeny that will be produced will be what? X species with X, you get XX. This will be a female. Now, this with this, you get XY. This will be a male. This with this is XX, that is again a female, and this with this XY, that is again a male. So over here, obviously, this type of sex determination is followed in the case of human beings. You have to make the whole thing and at last tell there are 50% of the chance that the child could be a female and 50% of the child that the child could be what? A male. So if you make this, you get marks for it. Okay? Now, some animals rely on environmental cues for sex determination. As in, for example, you know turtles? So, turtle depend on temperature for sex determination. If they are going to put their eggs or lay their eggs towards warmer temperatures, my dear children, this would be producing females. On the other hand, if there are cooler temperature, it would be producing males. So there are so many enzymatic reactions happening in their body which makes this particular thing happen. So in some animals, the sex of an individual is not determined by the genes but by the external factors which you call as environmental cues, my dear children, and you can write the answer like this with the help of an example which is asked in the question. Okay, going ahead, this is a 3-marker question. And now, the next question. Name the blood vessel that brings oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood to the human heart, and also name the chamber of the heart which receives deoxygenated blood, and state how deoxygenated blood from this chamber is sent to the lungs for oxygenation. Very simple, I am not telling you the answer directly. Over here, look. So you have 4 chambers, agree? So this is the left atrium, this is left ventricle, right atrium, and then right ventricle. You have your lungs over here. Assume that body parts over here. Okay, now lungs do the oxygenation. From the lungs it is brought to the left atrium, and what is this? This is oxygenated blood. Now you are asked about this question, that who brings oxygenated blood? It is pulmonary vein, my dear children, which is going to bring the oxygenated blood over here. From left atrium it goes to left ventricle, from left ventricle it goes to all the body parts, that is oxygenated blood. Now from the body parts, someone is going to bring deoxygenated blood. Now this is the second part of the question, who brings deoxygenated blood? So this is vena cava, again a vein. This is a vein that will be bringing deoxygenated blood to the right atrium. From the right atrium, it will be going to the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, this deoxygenated blood to again get oxygenated would be going to the lungs. Who would carry it back to the lungs? Away from the heart is always done by artery. A for artery, A for away, and this will be pulmonary artery, my dear children. Cool? So this is the flow. If you know this flow, you would be able to answer that question. So over here, okay. Name the blood vessel that brings oxygenated blood. It is pulmonary vein, and then deoxygenated blood to the human heart. It is vena cava, superior and inferior. Superior one brings from the upper region, inferior from the lower region. Also name the chamber of the heart which receives deoxygenated blood. It is right atrium, and state how deoxygenated blood from this chamber is sent to the lungs for oxygenation. It goes to the right ventricle, and then with the help of pulmonary artery goes to the lungs for oxygenation. Works? If you have written this, you got it. Now, this is again, I think, physics question, so I'll give back the battle to him.
A lot of blood flow in the road. Ma'am, please pin.
Sorry, sir.
So we have almost bathed in blood from our different parts of the body. Now we are into our eyes. Okay. So now we have to focus in our eyes. A person uses a lens of power minus 0.5D in his spectacles for the correction of his vision. Then obviously we know that negative power stands for myopia. So definitely the defect that he is suffering from is myopia, right? So first part is myopia. And what are the reasons for myopia? There are two reasons: excessive curvature of the eye lenses. Eye lenses are highly curved, or elongation of the eyeball. Eyeballs are elongated so that the rays are not able to meet. Right now, determine the focal length of the lenses used in the spectacles. The focal length is 2 meters because focal length is basically, what is the focal length? Focal length is 1 by power, right? And it is minus 0.5D, so it will be focal length will be minus 2 meter, right? So minus 1 by 0.5 meters. Remember that this comes in the meter form, so it will be minus 2 meters. Okay. Next question. So explain the statement potential difference between 2 points is 1 volt. So very common question. The definition of volt: 1 joule work done to move from one point to point A to point B. If the work done is 1 joule, to carry 1 coulomb charge, then the work done is basically 1 volt. Okay, so the 1 joule of work is done to move a charge from charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another, then the corresponding potential difference is 1 volt, right? What is this device? This is an ammeter and it is used to measure current. What is this device? This is a variable resistor, also called rheostat. You can answer any of them, okay? Variable resistor or rheostat. And what is the use of it? It is basically used to change the resistance of the circuit without breaking it or without changing the resistance multiple times, okay? So if you want to change the resistance without always removing the resistance and adding a new resistance, okay, so to vary the resistance in a circuit, we generally use rheostat. Okay, now next is 5 marker section. Let's see the first question. First question is again a physics question. What are magnetic field lines? How is the direction of magnetic field lines at a point is determined? A common question. Magnetic field lines, you have to write the definition of magnetic field lines. Okay, so if you keep a magnetic needle, whatever is the direction from north to south, that is the direction of magnetic field lines, right? So so direction is determined by the if you draw a tangent, either you draw a tangent at the point, okay, then whatever is the direction of the tangent is basically gives you the direction of the magnetic field lines. Or if you put a magnetic needle at this point, whatever is the direction of the north pole of the magnetic needle, then that north pole is basically gives you the direction of magnetic field line. Draw the pattern of magnetic field lines. The magnetic field produced by a current carrying circular loop. So current carrying circular loop, we have drawn it in the past. The center is like this and it is like this, right? We know that, right? Now mark in the direction of current and magnetic field lines. So direction of current based on the direction of current. So whether if the current is flowing in this direction, so it will be in inward direction, right? So magnetic field lines, it will be a 3-dimensional figure, right? So if the magnetic field current is passing in this direction, field lines will be like this. If the current in the opposite side, current is passing in the opposite direction, so field lines will be like this. Okay, and they will overlap in this session, right? You can draw the diagram based on whatever you have done. Okay, I am not going to explain too detail about this. These are very common questions. Name the 2 factors on which the magnitude of the magnetic field lines due to a current carrying coil depends. So what are the factors the current carrying coil depends? It depends on the number of turns per unit length. It's a coil, right? So it will be number of turns, total number of turns, and the amount of current passing through the coil. So these are the 2 factors. Next, why can't 2 magnetic field lines crosses each other? If they cross each other at the point of cross section, there will be 2 direction of magnetic field, which is not possible. So that's why magnetic field will not be unique at that point. So magnetic field lines cannot cross. Draw the magnetic field lines showing the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying long straight solenoid. So long straight solenoid, also we know that basically in a solenoid, magnetic field lines are parallel inside the center, and outside they are like a magnet. They behave like a magnet, right? These are also common diagram. Now you can show whatever direction you want. State the conclusion which can be drawn from the pattern of magnetic field lines inside the solenoid. So pattern is basically inside the long state solenoid, the magnetic field lines are parallel. That means magnetic field inside the solenoid is constant. Okay, so magnetic field lines inside a solenoid is constant. Name any two factors on which the magnitude of magnetic field lines due to this solenoid depends. So obviously another same question, magnetic field lines per unit length for solenoid, per unit length. For coil, total number of turns is sufficient, but for for solenoid you have to mention number of turns per unit length, that is important, and amount of current. Amount of current is common in both the cases. Now, next question, name the method in which amoeba and I can't speak, ma'am, please come. My biology knowledge is very limited.
So I was glad, hoping that Soumik sir would be solving the next question as well, making it easy for you to understand. But yes, apparently you have to deal with me. So 35th question, name the method by which amoeba and leishmania reproduce. My dear children, they reproduce with the help of asexual method, that is binary fission. They are going to cut down their body into two, and that's how they reproduce. I know it's crazy, but yeah. So write a difference in the way they divide to produce new individuals. So basically in the case of amoeba, have you seen its structure? So it has an irregular shape. So its division is also at any plane. It can happen through any plane. It can divide by this plane into two, or this plane into whatever plane it wants. But on the other hand, if you talk about leishmania, it would be dividing through a longitudinal axis. So it will start at division like this and go up and get divided into two things, my dear children. Okay, so in one leishmania you have one flagella again, and the next one you already grew one more so that you can divide them equally. So that is a difference in the case of amoeba and leishmania. Both of them are going to do binary fission, but their plane of fission is very much different. I think I have written the answer, but let me see. Yes, so amoeba divides in any plane, has an irregular shape. Leishmania has a definite shape and divides in a specific longitudinal plane due to its flagellum at one end. Cool. Now you are asked about second question, that is, what is asexual reproduction? As in, when there is no production of gametes, when they are not fusing together, okay, only one parent is involved for producing a progeny which are going to look like clones, my dear children. This is known as asexual reproduction. Now explain the process of budding in the case of hydra. So you know what happens in budding. It's a very cute process. So suppose this is a hydra. Okay, now over here the hydra would be, they have regenerative cells, as in cells that has the potency to give rise to a whole new organism. Now these regenerative cells are going to form small little buds, okay, like this, and later this bud is going to grow and detach from the parent body and then going into a new hydra. So this is the process of budding, but how do you actually write it? So asexual reproduction, it is a mode of reproduction where offspring are reproduced from a single parent without the involvement of gametes. Now budding in hydra, a small outgrowth bud develops on the body of the hydra. The bud would be growing, developing tentacles, that is on their body, and they mature. It eventually detaches and become an independent hydra. That's all. Very simple, right? Now, give two methods used to grow rose and jasmine plants by vegetative propagation. So rose can be formed with the help of cutting. So what do you do in cutting is that basically you cut the plant at areas where there are small buds. And now what will happen when you are going to dip it in some auxin or some hormones and then plant it? It will be giving rise to the rooting hormones and things like that, or basically giving rise to certain roots and producing a whole new plant over there. Now in the case of jasmine, that is me, things are getting really interesting over there. So what happens is that you have certain plant, you have the plant, right? Now the plant will be having branches, the branches would be having certain buds from which new things would be coming. So what is done is that this particular branch is taken, pulled and been put inside the soil. So what happens? It is within the soil and you have the bud. From the bud you get a new jasmine plant. It will form its own roots and stuff like that. And now you have got one more jasmine plant. And what do you then do? Basically you then cut this particular plant. Initially you have this connection so to provide nutrition and everything. Later when you see that the plant is developing, you just cut it, and that's how you get two new plants. So that is known as layering. That is known as layering. Cool. So you can just write it down like that. So rose, there is stem cutting. A stem cutting with buds is planted in the soil, which develops roots and grows into a new plant. In jasmine, layering is done. A branch of the plant is bent and covered with soil. After root develops, the new plant is separated and grown independently. This is the answer that you need to write for a 5-marker question. Now you are given an option for or for this part. Okay, let's read the or part as well. Where is it? Write one function each of the parts: petals, anther, style, and ovary of bisexual flower. Okay, so what does the use of petal? Petals are there such that it can attract pollinators, so that they can come and help in the whole process of pollination. Okay, that is the use of petals. And also they are in the bud stage, they are going to protect all the female and the male reproductive part which is in there. Now anther, what is the use of that? Anther would be having so many pollen grains, my dear children. It will be storing and forming so many pollen grains. These pollen grains are the ones that would be having male gametes. Always remember, pollen grains are not male gametes, they are going to produce male gametes. Okay, so that is the function of anther. What is the function of style? Now style is something which looks like this. On the top we have a stigma, and then we have the ovary up over here. So style is a stalk-like structure which basically helps as a point, connecting point between the stigma as well as the ovary. And through this only the pollen, if at all it comes, okay, it can form the pollen tube and get ahead to meet the ovule. Fine. So that is the thing. Now ovary of a bisexual flower. What is the ovary? What is the use of the ovary? Ovary would be having ovule. And what is the ovule going to have? Ovule would be having the female gametes which are much needed for the process of pollination. So these are the function of each of the things. And ovary, one more thing, ovary would be turning into a fruit later on. So that is also a function. You can write it down. Where is it? So this is the answer. Petals, anther, style connects the stigma to the ovary. Ovary contains ovules which develops into seeds after fertilization. Basically, how do you get the seeds? Only if there are female gametes. So that becomes a function. Now you're asked one more question, that is, give one example of one unisexual flower and a bisexual flower. Mention the changes. Okay, so first thing, what do you mean by unisexual flower? Unisexual flower as in it just has one sex, that is over here, the female part, that's all. This is a unisexual flower. What do you mean by bisexual? That means it has both the male and the female parts, that is bisexual flower. Now if you asked about the example, you can just give papaya as an example for unisexual and hibiscus for bisexual. Cool? Works? Now mention the changes which a flower undergoes after fertilization. So after fertilization, what will happen? The ovule which was there, my dear children, it will transform into a seed. Now outside the ovule, what do we have? We have the ovary which already transformed into a fruit because I made it transform. Okay. Now what else? You have petals. The petals which are there, they will be falling down. Okay, there is no use of it, so they will be falling down. Apart from it, what else do you have to write? So zygote will be developing. Obviously, if fertilization happening inside this, a zygote will be developing into an embryo, and the seed, ovule into a seed, ovary into a fruit, and the petals and everything fall off. So these are the 4 things that you need to write, and with that you get 5 marks.
So Vedic has asked a question.
Ma'am, in jasmine growing, I used grafting and cutting method. Is it right? So Vedic, actually we use layering for jasmine. Okay, that is the most common method that we do. Okay, not grafting. So in your NCERT also, the example for this layering is given as jasmine. So it would have been better, but okay, let's see what does your teacher say, whoever checks. Okay. So not be sad for it, but yeah. Now, going ahead. Okay, I think that's a chemistry question. Giving the mic to Ashwarya ma'am.
Okay. Yes, so this 5-marker question is from the chapter Carbon and its compounds, right? Very easy chapter. I'll be telling you the answer quickly. So first of all, name an alcohol and an carboxylic acid having 2 carbons. So you can easily name it. What is it? It is ethanol, okay, and ethanoic acid. Okay, so we have 2 carbons, so ethanol and ethanoic acid. Next, what you have to do, draw their structures and state how this alcohol can be converted into carboxylic acid. So if I want to draw their structure, ethanol structure, you can draw like this. So just CH3, okay. Then you have, one second, here I can erase. Yes, this is CH2 and O and H. Then you have CH3COOH, that is for ethanoic acid. CH3COOH. Structures are done. Okay. Next, what is there? How can we convert ethanol to ethanoic acid? So to convert this one, we need strong oxidizing agent. You can use KMnO4, alkaline KMnO4. Okay. Next, what happens when these two compounds react in the presence of an acid? When these two compounds will react in the presence of an acid, what happens? Ester formation takes place. Right? So that you have to mention that ester formation takes place. Write the chemical equation for the reactions involved in the two cases mentioned above. So yes, this is one reaction is already written. Okay, then for the next one, that is for ethanol and ethanoic acid. So you have to write like this: CH3CH2OH plus, I am having ethanoic acid here. Okay, in the acidic medium, what will happen here? There will be a loss of water, and we will get one ester, that is CH3CH2OCOCH3. So I have not having space. Let me erase this one again and I'll write. Okay, just a minute. Yes, we will have ester formation. So okay, reaction I'm writing here. You already know what will happen when these two will react. There will be ester formation. Now if I want to write the reaction, it is CH3CH2OH plus, you have ethanoic acid here. Here there will be loss of water, and we will get CH3CH2OCOCH3. Okay, so this is your ester formation. So we have written both the reactions and all the terms have been mentioned. So yes, this will give you 5 marks. Next, there is an OR question: what are soaps? And write the structure of a soap molecule. Explain the cleansing action of soap. Why are soaps not considered suitable for washing clothes in the region where hard water is there? How is this problem overcome? Very direct question. So what are soaps? Soaps are your sodium or potassium salts of carboxylic acid. Write the structure. You have to draw the structure. Explain the cleansing action of soap. So micelle formation, you have to talk about that. Then why are soaps not considered for hard water? Because they form scum. And how can we overcome this? By using detergents. Okay, so 5 points, 5 questions, 5 marks will give you. So first one, what are soaps? Soaps are sodium and potassium salt of long chain carboxylic acid, which has cleaning properties in water. Next, draw the structure. I have just given a structure. You can just do like this. Just put like this, and COO minus Na plus. That is the structure of the soap. Next, coming to cleansing action of the soap. So here I have written a detailed answer. You don't have to write this much, but you can tell that when soap is dissolved in water, it forms micelle, and these micelle like trap the dirt and they pull it out when we just grease it, or sorry, when we anything you rub the cloth, the oil comes out, and then when you wash, the micelles carry the dirt particles and get washed away. That is the cleansing action. I have given a detailed answer here. Next, we have here, next one was what? Yes, why there is a problem with soap in hard water? It is because it forms scum, because hard water contains calcium and magnesium salt. So this reacts with that and it forms a scum. And how can we overcome this? This problem can be overcome by the use of detergents, because detergents do not form scum in hard water. Okay, now we have here, I have discussed this question. Okay, next we have again a question from chemistry, that is, pure metals like copper, iron, gold are very soft and as such are considered unsuitable for certain uses. Metallic objects around us, such as cooking utensils, statues, ornaments, guns, are actually not made up of pure metal. Instead of pure metal, alloys are used in the design of most of the useful objects. Making alloys enhances the basic properties of a metal, which the primary constituent of an alloy. So how does the electrical conductivity and melting point of a metallic change? Okay, so if you see, electrical conductivity decreases of an alloy and the melting point increases for an alloy. Okay, that you have to write. Next, name an alloy which is used for welding. The alloy name is solder. Okay, and it is a mixture of lead plus tin. Okay, lead plus tin. Then what are alloys and how is brass prepared? So alloys are what? alloys are the mixture of metals, right? Alloys are the mixture, homogeneous mixture of metals. How is brass prepared? Brass is a mixture of copper plus zinc, right? Okay, so that is what you have to write. We have here what is stainless steel and how is it prepared. So stainless steel, you can write it is an ore of, you have iron, nickel and chromium. Okay, next, how is it prepared? So you can just write down, this is prepared by mixing these metals. Okay, just you have to write, this is a prepared by making a homogeneous mixture of these metals. Next, write one important property which makes it more useful in making cooking utensils as compared to its primary metal. So you can here write many properties. One important property you can write is its less reactivity, so that it doesn't react with the food that we use or food we prepared in the utensils. Good conductor of heat. Okay, you can also write about its durability. Okay, then corrosion free. There are so many properties, you can mention any one. Okay, so yes, that was the 4-marker question. Next we have again bio question. Here I think some comments are there. Okay, Krishnam is saying, ma'am, I wrote adding Na2CO3 and using detergents. Is it right? Dear, if you have mentioned using detergents, that is fine. Okay, so that will be given marks. Adding Na2CO3 is not correct here, but yes, using detergents is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, that's all. Now we'll go to bio question. So Jasmine ma'am will be discussing.
Okay, so over here again, the growth movements of plant parts in which the direction of the stimulus determines the direction of the response is known as tropic movements or tropism. Okay, the plants also have non-directional movement which may not be growth dependent. So it is just given to confuse you guys, but okay. Anyways, so this is what they have given and this is the picture they have given. This is X and this is Y, my dear children, where the root is coming down and the shoot is growing up. Now over here, name the movement which causes X and Y. That is, why does the roots, they grow downwards? So the answer for this question is roots grow downwards because they are positive. They are going to show positive geotropism. That is, their stimuli is gravity and they are going to move towards it. Now there is one more reason. They also show the roots. Okay, I'm talking about the roots. They show negative phototropism. So phototropism is a tropic movement where the stimuli is the light. So they are moving away from the light, which is why it is negative phototropism. That is why they go into the soil. Now why? That is why shoot grows upwards. Why do you think it grows upwards? So shoot grows upwards because of the opposite reason. Because they are going to show negative geotropism. They are going to move away from the gravity and they are going to show positive phototropism. They are going to move towards the light. So this is what you have to write for Y. Now, write the name of a hormone that plays a major role in falling off the leaf. So what is that particular hormone which is responsible for falling off the leaf? Any guesses? And also for rapid cell division. So rapid cell division, this becomes more easy to answer. So I'll answer this first. So you know cell division, cytokinin. This is the name of the hormone. Cyto as in cell, division. Kinin as in division, my dear children. And over here, you have the answer for the other question as well. That is abscisic acid. You know abscisic acid, ABA. It is also known as stress hormone. So whenever the plant is in stress, it is going to increase its abscisic acid. And this abscisic acid is also for one that helps in leaf shedding and abscission of the leaf. The same meaning. Okay. Now, leaves of sensitive plant move very quickly in response to touch. How is the stimulus of touch communicated? And explain how the movement take place. So basically, the stimulus of touch is communicated via, do they have any neural system in their body in plants? No. So they have electrochemical systems in their body. Okay. So there are so many ions which would be moving, going up and down, which is why movement happens. So over there, when someone touches the plant, my dear children, what happens? There is a change in the turgor pressure on the base of the leaf. So you know, base of the leaf, it is swollen with the help of something that is known as pulvinus. So pulvinus is a region that is swollen because there is too much amount of water, and this water creates turgor pressure over here. So when we touch it, okay, there are so many ionic imbalance that is being caused because of the hormones which are in there, and this pulvinus will suddenly lose a lot of water. Now you only think when the water is lost over here, do you think it will be as stiff as this? No. So it will be just drooping off, it will be just closing. So this is how it is being done in the case of sensitive plant, that is Mimosa pudica. So how does the touch stimulus communicated? So when the plant is touched, it generates electrochemical signals that travel from the stimulated area to the other parts of the leaf with the help of what? Ionic movements which are there. Now how the movement happens? The cells at the base of the leaf, that is pulvinus, lose water and shrink. The sudden loss of water reduces turgor pressure, causing the leaves to fold and droop. This is what you need to write. Now apart from this, there is our question, that is, name the plant hormone which is synthesized at the shoot tip, at the tip of the shoot. How does this hormone help the plant to bend towards the light? So it is auxin hormone, which is the one that is responsible for what say bending of the plant towards the light. Suppose this is the plant tip, my dear children, you would be having auxin uniformly distributed everywhere. And now second scenario is where over here you have the sun. Now this is the shaded area and this is the area where you get the light. So what happens is that the auxin will be moving from an area where there is light to the shaded region. So there will be lots of auxin over here towards one side. Now because of this unequal separation of or distribution of auxin, what will happen? Here auxin is more, and wherever auxin is there, it will be causing cell elongation. So cells which were like this, they are now going to elongate, and you only think only on one side they are elongating, on the next other side they are still small cells. So obviously if you say carefully, they are kind of bending towards what, my dear children? Light. That is why the bending happens, because the plant wants the other side also to receive some amount of light. So it's because of auxin hormone which is there at the shoot tip, and auxin is responsible for cell elongation. Now when it is more towards one side, obviously it would be causing unequal cell elongation, which is why the plant bends. I hope that is clear, and this is how you can answer it. So auxin moves to the shaded side of the shoot. When exposed to light, it promotes cell elongation on the shaded side. All the things are really important. Going ahead with the next question, that is physics, obviously, which I cannot solve, so I would be giving it over to sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Pen, please. Yeah. So a lot of plants are grown. Now we will be growing plants in the circuit diagram, right? This is one of the easiest, simplest circuit diagram question I have seen so far. So study the circuit shown in the two resistors X and Y of the resistance 3 ohm and 6 ohm respectively are joined in series with the battery of 2 volt. So everything is given. First, they have given it, draw a circuit diagram showing the above two resistors X and Y joined in parallel with the same battery and same ammeter and voltmeter. Okay, so they have asked you to draw a circuit diagram where they are joined in parallel combination. So in parallel combination, only thing that you have to be careful about, the resistances are now in parallel, and as you know that voltmeter is connected always in parallel combination, and ammeter is always connected in the series combination. Okay, but the resistances themselves are now connected in parallel. Okay, and we have the same battery, we have the key, so everything else will remain same. Okay, but only thing to be careful about, this voltmeter is connected like this. Okay, now what is the question again? In which combination of resistance of the resistors, number 1, potential difference across X and Y, option 2, current through X and Y be the same. Now I have told you multiple times that in series combination current remains same. So for answer for 2 will be series combination, that will be series, and potential difference remains same across parallel combination. So this will be parallel combination. Right, multiple times I have informed you, find the current drawn from the battery by the series combination of the two resistors. So what is the current drawn in the circuit? So 2 volt is the voltage. If you consider the series combination, the total resistance will be 9 ohm. So 9 ohm is the resistor, voltage is 2 volt. So current will be I will be equals to V by R. So 2 by 9. So it will be whatever value you can get. I think this is the answer, 2 by 9 ampere. You can write this like this. So that will be the correct answer. Okay, which will be very close to 0.2. Now this is the current. Now next is that determine the equivalent resistance of the parallel combination of two resistors. This is the OR question, okay, which is very easy. What is the parallel combination? In parallel combination, equivalent resistance, I know, I told you, when two resistors are connected in parallel, the equivalent resistance is given by any one of the resistor, 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6. So it will be 18 divided by 9, so that will be 2 ohm. So equivalent resistance in parallel is 2 ohm, and current in the series combination is 8 by 2 by 19, 2 by 9. Okay, got it? I think this is the end of the paper. If you have any questions, any queries, don't forget to mention that in the comment below. We are here for one more extra minute to see any queries, any questions that you have. If you don't have, we will close this session, okay, and you have to prepare for your next exam. So we will not waste too much time here. If you have any questions, any queries, please mention that in the comment. Okay, I don't see any comments, so I'll close this session right now. If you have any doubts, mention in the main comment section below.